You're safer here than anyplace else.
I had... No, no, you can repeat it. It's not bent, saved anyway. So, there's a heap of yeah, nice. Oh, it doesn't fucking zoom again. Oh no, that works. Turns out you can do it with one finger. When I've read the instructions more closely, still, it's, yeah, a bit confusing for me. I still haven't worked out how to do the exposure yet, but in time, maybe, or maybe not. Yeah, I've mentioned recently though, I don't think it didn't ever upload it, but hey, this might be like a place you check yourself in if you've got control issues, right? So if you're a control freak, this realm really does suck, because the lesson repeatedly is like, look, relinquish control, and you realise that somehow you had control all along, which is paradoxical, and maybe I don't know, is it a cliche type song? I got sick of it all, and then words it out, maybe, that's how. But again, it's like I have said, probably say it more, in the future. This is all happening now is what they say, and in many ways I think this probably backs it up. I wasn't heading that way. It's just the time thing, right? Time takes time. Context takes time. And the repeated lesson is, yeah, well, it's an emotional roller coaster in every sense of the bloody analogy. Ups and downs and whatnot, and you can think, oh, I don't want to be involved in these ups and downs, too high highs, too low lows. Well, it's pretty bloody boring in the middle, as most real men and women know. It's it's just it's just what it's like. It's like extreme and stream, right? Same deal. But it's it's the trying to control things. You see the control freaks, they're having the worst time on this ride out of everyone. They're the ones that won't dare even let that possibility come into their mind. Even if that possibility is a coping mechanism, a fantasy, you call it what you will. Even if you think it's absolutely absurd, you know what? Oh, it's the most efficient means to view the world. It's far from absurd. It's, frankly, you've heard it before, word, and a lot, I'd say, speaking for me and those around me. It's all I can really do, not just today. Sometimes I speak for those others that I can't see around me, but it doesn't mean they're not around me. That's the thing. It's one of the still doing little big, there they are, little ducklings. Hello, little black beaks. Hey, I haven't seen you. They're cool. Look at him. There they are. It's just that I did think that recently. It's like, yeah, maybe this is like it might be like a suggested, it's like a rehab thing. It's like, if you've got control freak issues, yeah, perhaps you check yourself in here to straighten them out, so that you relinquish control, realise you're a god, and you've got the wherewithal, even though you don't know it all straight away. That's the excitement. It's working it out, and the ebbs and flow as you sometimes going down the drain. It feels as you're trying to flow, but sometimes that's the way the flow goes. And if there's a drain and you're on your way in, it's like, well, yeah, embrace. It's part of the thrill. I don't know, like it's, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, I'll say it now at a moment when, it's a little duck, look at him, huh? He's good. It's a thought I had a little while back, and I even said it out loud, and often that can be a way to get some instant throwback, feedback from the system that wants you to think anything other than, you know, you had a hand in the persisting or the desisting, or, you know, were assisting what seemed like a cyst when you first saw it, and you start squeak. I mean, sometimes you got to do that, all right? I'm not to get whatever. There's lots of things you got to do aren't very nice to say, see, talk about, or, you know, perhaps retell others on your way through. But also, I'll quickly just summarise this, because I've said this part to myself a number of times, and it's a boiled down cliche of truth that Kenny Rogers. Was it Kenny Rogers? Fuck. Oh no, now I'm thinking, it was Kenny Rogers, wasn't it? He was either, oh fuck. Is he a saxophone player? I don't mean the saxophone player, that's Kenny G. Thank you. There we go. That's a turtle over here. It might have come from him. It might be a bit of a Kenny G fanatic. That's good. Good on you, mate. He's like, fuck. I outed him. He's out of here. You're alright, you can like Kenny G if you want. Not really my thing, but it's in my head, isn't it? I don't really like the saxophone sound, but it's, you know, it's good to be playing with the sound and doing things other than a lot of the bullshit that's going around here. What am I saying? So it was Kenny Rogers. It's a song that's like, which is, you got to know, oh fuck, I can't remember it now. You know, you got to know when to hold them, know when to, it's a gambling reference, you know, true, no doubt, accurately portrayed, reference. I don't know if I can't remember quite where I was. Yeah, well, here I was. Anyhow, it's a few times because it's not. Yeah, well, that's the fucking point. Like, if there are some things that you learn with experience and you have to make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're not actually learning, and that's a real shock for those that, you know, really feel they just are incapable of making mistakes, because inherently in doing that they're robbing themselves, because they're not learning on the way, or at least they're telling themselves they're not without realising so, and in effect manifesting and creating such a scene. Whereas relinquishing control and I suppose not being driven so much by the ego type overly rolled, it works. It's all right. Because it's not just you, or it's not just me. It's like we. That is the key. It's the same shit I've said a lot of times. But it really is. Nature is 100%. If you don't get that, oh, that's cool. You don't get it, but you should. Stacks. The real men and women of the realm, if and when they hear this, will be like, yeah, do tell, as in, yeah, you don't even need, I know what you're saying. Because I said to my nephew, well, the younger one is a bit of a little bastard. That's how it is. It's a good one and a bad one, it seems, and I don't really want to you're so mean, but, well, you know. You haven't met him, no, but anyway, he's alright. Hopefully he'll get there, maybe. It's just that, sometimes, you gotta be told. But yeah, that's not what I'm getting into. We were going through the cemetery, we just happened to be, and it had already dawned on me recently, perhaps in the preceding days or 3, that how much sense it makes going back into the ground, right? Because, well, that's where everything comes from. And it's a very obvious statement, or it can be written off as a very obvious, of course it is, and not really take it for what it is, which is it's the truth. It's the like, it makes the most sense, and it's also why you will see spirit ever so strongly and ever presently coming back through nature. The trees, the birds, the bees, the clouds, the seas, the rivers, the waters that be. Because we are actually all connected in that sense, and I've said it a number of times about Planck's the Planck's constant. There you go, matey. And how like I'd come to the conclusion myself that as we hit that, upper end and lower end of the frequency that, you know, science has declared, and it makes sense from a frequency standpoint. Yeah, you know, it's how a wave works, and well, when we're on the other side of that momentary, because we're basically snapping in, out, snapping in. That's what we're doing. Oh, and that's been in my head since, well, long before I ever knew how the heck it got there, or what it was doing. But what it was doing was reinforcing a fundamental truth. And on the other side of that, you know, outside of that, so it's very fast. We can't necessarily perceive it. It's that type of mind exercise, not a farce. It's in that moment that we are all the other things, right? I've said this and felt this and known this. I know this. I did, funnily enough, I was reading something the other day. I think I was rereading the Gateway stuff, like the MAIS documentation, the 1983 CIA released document letter thing with the Robert Monroe Institute and blah blah blah. And while I had downloaded all that in the past and attempted to make videos in the past, my shit's disappeared and that. But I found myself finding my way back to that. You know, something else popped it up, and I was, oh yeah, and it's entirely fundamentally valid, accurate, and well, yeah, certainly well worth your time investigating it, and yeah, just it's food for thought. You might have to pause a lot of your other thoughts for the moment, but once you start reading it, you're like, holy shit, I'm pausing. Yeah, I was just gonna stop. Distracted by some bullshit, man. But I was reading that again the other day, and I've read it before. As I said, I've tried to make it more digestible to share in a meaningful form for others, and not so far succeeded in that. But it's funny that, in a way, that I was reading that the other day, I'm like, fuck, they say that there. You know, I have had that in my head since I was a child. From whence, I don't know where. I think it was like, it might even be the atomism bloody nonsense, that we're not physical because we're atoms, and that somewhere I'd picked up that we're vibrating, right? And so that on-off thing has been in my head for a very long time. It's part of the rhythm and the rhyme of this, dream simulated sim city sync opated time. I was trying to get dream in there. Did I say that? I don't know. But and what is interesting is what they said in that document was very much along the lines of what I already knew. It was very obviously, it's encouraging it feels great. I know it's challenging for people to hear different views. It's not just, if you forget like that, it's not just you. But it is actually, which makes it. It's all, it's thrilling when we all like to have our own views reinforced by what we perceive to be others or entities that we have bestowed. For whatever reason we've got respect for. It's like, oh shit. And that's not stroking one's ego. It's it's an electricity type, not lazy, but path of least resistance, pleasing flow. It's not. But it's an dilemma too. I'm just reminding myself, as I've said before, Wim was very helpful in reinforcing that one too. Because it's not always going your way. It's kind of what I was saying before. But it's like when you can't think of something, and you finally go, and you stop thinking about it. Well, funnily enough, pops in. That doesn't mean you just give the fuck up, but there are some times where it's just happening. You don't have to do nothing, and that's the beauty of and the wonder and the surprise and the mystery of the place. Now it feels I'm jibber-jabbing on mindlessly. It's not mindlessly. It's not endlessly. Might sound, could be perceived as such. Well, actually, sorry, I take that back. It is endlessly. That's what. It's endless love. That's what you do, right? We're not. We are immortal in that sense, even though we don't. Well, I don't remember being here in the past. Certainly not in recent times. whence. Things have come back over this little journey that I've seen a bit silly, that funny enough they get continually reinforced. At some point I'm going to talk about the PICTISH thing, because there's been some more learnings on that front to reinforce the findings in the cave of the the one that I've spoken about before. And it's like, oh well, that was me, and I'm not getting into it all now, but it's like, well, but then the realisation of that, well, that then brings on a whole lot of other realisations in a situational MAIS and well, I can't remember how to forgot the thing. I started looking around for an excuse to stop talking, because it's even something silly like that. But it's not a bit silly. It's actually probably not silly. Part of me, you know, likes to feel it's silly as a way, because it does make it feel a bit silly. I can't really say it with a straight face, but fuck. But there's been things that come out of that, right, which have kept happening. It's like, yeah, well, fuck. Well, that is why that's that, and blah, blah, blah. And a terrible way to explain it. I'm not going to get into it any further than I have thus far. But, yeah. Last thing on that, just because it is in my... It reminded me, I've been thinking this for a long time, well, for a couple of years anyway. So I've been wanting to speak to Rob in the States, who, I can't remember his last name now, but that's alright. He knows who I'm talking about. Who my mate from when I used to know Hans is Shabby coming on to fucking just be a terse and whatnot, I'll ignore him. Rob was the first person I had ages back who just like explained this thing, and he just sort of nonchalantly just said, like, I did end up asking him actually. I think I ended up, but it was like, I think I asked him on it over it wasn't in a natural bloody situation, like, you know, just talking, and I would see him on Zoom things when I was doing well, the first thing, like a very interesting, and it was interesting, a good opportunity in many ways, seminar thing that, Mr. Beamer put on. Like plenty of learnings there, but Rob he's a bloody champion. Anyhow, he was destroying a crystal. There's a reference to it actually in one video I put up about orgonite, an open letter to Temple, before I posted the In Defence of Wilhelm Reich video, which was a direct response to Hans and the nasty, unfounded things he was saying, in my view, as a bloody advertisement to get people to go to his seminar. Unfounded bullshit about Wilhelm Reich. And frankly, yeah, give a fuck, do what you like, but don't be speaking ill of others, whether you think they're out of sight or not. It's fucking, that's it. You gotta back it up, right? Have your opinion, but fuck me, back it up. Let me not get off topic. Rob said he was destroying a crystal, right? He was destroying a crystal, and he made this noise, like it's just full on noise, right? And I can remember someone said, ask him what happened there, or what was it, and his response, and he was just straight out there, he was just like, I used to be a Filipino king, or something like that, right? It might have the slightly, and I was just like, how the fuck did you know that? Well, how would you not? And I was just like, yeah, how do you? Because this, it can sound like, well, how the fuck do you possibly know that? But this is what I'm saying. That's what we're here for, right? These things, right? You take part in this event, the present, I've referenced and stumbled across this little learning, which is a large learning, really. I'll frame it as a wee one, but it's quite significant, despite, the attitude that you may get from others, or some that, they're in their own, they might not even be in a dream, they might be part of the friggin' beeping and bopping robot sideshow NPC machine, I don't know. But anyhow, point is, our role in the present, we underestimate that, because, and I've said it before, I'll perhaps just link to the bloody video, but who knows whether that will go anywhere further, and it's not necessarily about that, but it's partly about that. And it's, I can remember being like, maybe I said something during the thing, but for ages now I've been thinking, fuck, I want to talk to him. He's a bloody good bloke. But it's hard with all this, because everyone's well, it's not as hard as we make it out, or I make it out sometimes, but time zones and bloody technology and shit fucks with you, and everyone's different. You know, it's easier. Some things are easier said than done, but yeah, actions do speak louder than words, and eventually, I try to speak the words louder to myself as we get closer, and the actions will, yeah, bleed through, for lack of a better term, and it's up, you know, it will happen. But I've been wanting to speak to him for quite a while, and well, for a number of things, he's a bloody good bloke. It's like you get to realise who's freaking real, and who's, you know, for whatever reason, yeah, having a different ordeal. I wanted to ask him how he knew, like how he, but you know, in retrospect, as I was spitting this out, I realised this some time ago as well. But it's like, well, yeah, it's like, well, it's come to the point. It's like, I know I was this PICTISH bloody chief they found in a cave 1400 years ago with a boulder on his mid-region. They didn't want him getting up. They didn't want him getting back. There was something that, but I've already explained, it's another thing. And you know, it can sound a bit, yeah, whatever, if you want to, I can, whatever. That's yep, that's where we're at. You know, you can analyse anything and think it sounds a bit silly if you know, really want it to, and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. If you just, it's not fucking silly, but it's ironic in and not, you know, in an obvious sense type. It's just how the plot goes, right? So oh, see, yeah, you get funny talking about something which isn't even really, you know, you create it yourself, the awkwardness, or, you know, I do a lot. Huh? It's also how you get through a lot of the bullshit that you got, and a lot of the good stuff, and a lot of everything else, and yada yada, and, you know. Anyhow, I will talk to Rob at some point. And I've been looking forward to that for quite a little bit. And I see, like, I can't remember if he's actually said even how, right? But a lot of things have come through. It's like, yeah, right. It's how it's, yeah, he found out. Just like I found out, right? That while I can't recall necessarily I can't recall a past life. You know, the year I started my bloody channel, with the name that it is, which was a kind of a random name, because I was hanging out in my shed a lot, hiding from my psychotic girlfriend that I'd got, my own doing. But that's what I called my channel, what my channel's called, essentially, because I was, you know, my name, you know, I was putting things up that seemed a bit risque in regards to just don't dare talk about the freaking sun being different to how we'd been programmed to believe. You know, be a bit freaked out. No, what, you know, right, fair enough. I'm not shying away from that. You can have your name you want. I didn't really change mine much. Point is, it seemed as though it was a random, but no, you know, whatever. I called my thing what I called my thing. Blokes found in a, turns out, blokes found in a, I didn't even know about PICTISH people. He was found in a cave that year. In fact, I found out a couple of years later when I was looking into them for another reason, which I wasn't looking into them. I was looking into Braveheart because I'd seen the blue colours across the character's eye, the William Wallace, and the descendant perhaps was I, because I'd seen it but become I've got a shadow situation which is certainly along those lines, and it's funny that, and ironic and true as heck, and you know, yeah, stranger than fiction. Don't forget it. That's the fucking point of fiction. The problem is we've had so much fiction rammed down our bloody throats, entertainment freak filling up your eyeballs and coming out your soap, whatever that fucking means. It's like it's easy to we forget, right? That it's fiction. The truth shits all over fiction by a million miles. Right? It's yet to say that sometimes it feels like you got to be like, others are like, oh right, well they've seen it all because, you know, we watched a bunch of fake bullshit on TV and oh, some of it was reality TV. Yeah, that's real as fuck. That's not very real. I was being sarcastic. You should be able to feel. Oh, another thing. Fuck it. That sounds like a monkey over there again. I think it's Redbeak. He's very frustrated. However, he's ended up here somewhat castrated. He's got no fucking webbed feet, and someone's put him in a bloody water bird park, and he's like angry as a monkey that sounds like a, I don't know, gibbon cheetah type meek. I don't know. Anyhow, he was at the one at Redbeak's at Goolwa as well. He's very angry there. You know, you can interpret that how you like. It's all part of the freaking show, and you know, they can fuck up more easily than you suspect, the AI, and this is, you know, it's the artifact that we are within. We and they live within that, and sim nature is by far the overwhelming, most truthful and beautiful part. It doesn't mean that everything's fake, and that's because that's all. I mean, I could be perceived as having suggested such a message. It's never been my message or my intention. I've actually gone to great lengths to stress that, but it's very difficult to do that, and you can't control what everyone's belief perceptions are. It's freaking, tell it like it is, and how we go is how we'll be perceived in the past, or as we've passed. I can't actually recall. It's so in the bloody now moment that it's that's a real component. That's all there is. You can't get too hardcore into that, because then you don't really recall what is the thing you were going to say. It'll come back. So it is. Not always convenient, but you know, it's trying to be a control freak about it, and you'll be right. We'll be right. The truth has a way of making itself persist, so we'll come back. Anyhow, for a number of reasons, I'm sure maybe there's a way I can program this phone to stop at 10 minutes like the other one that used to give me the shits when it did. It was actually a handy reminder. It says tongue-in-cheek, kinda. A little bit like the alarm that goes off in the morning. You're like, fuck, how could I, what, binder, what, and then it's like, oh no, I did that. Fuck, I needed that alarm. Thank goodness. Or fuck, I left it on. I left the alarm on. What a dickhead. I was really enjoying that sleep. Who dared wake me up at this stage? What a creep. Oh shit, that was me that set that alarm and just forgot, fell asleep into another dream, and woke up, was like, what? It's just what we do. It's a dream scene. Anyhow, we create the future, which we discover as the present. Actually, shit, I fucked that up. Well, time's gone both ways. I've already come to this realisation and explained it before. It's the past. You create the past in the present, and it's the future that you discover in the present. That's kind of the loop. What happens is it literally is going both ways. So as things become realer in your mind state, in my mind space, as it becomes realer, it is made, it's manifest, and it'll be like in the past. It'll seem it's like you're discovering things like happened in the past. You're finding it in the present, but you see it in the future. You see the past and the future that you find in the present. It can sound a bit like that. Yeah, let it sit. And just someone said something in a comment thing was I thought it was very valuable. But last night or yesterday or whatever, he's like, I was trying to remain neutral on something. Just sit and say, well, fuck yeah, that's the better, like, ideally, I think that's the way to be for many things. But it's like, and then wait and see. That's all I'm saying. again and again in different ways, and you know, it's alright. Trees backing me up, nature's like swaying in a positive way and going, yeah, fucking oath, you're trying to rush everything. How's that go for you? Usually not. It can, yeah, and sometimes it can go great, but more often than not, it can, you know, get a bit off the plot. There was another saying there, and I thought I saw Toth over there. Have a look. He's just disappeared. There's a ibis, right? A big white wings. He was like, yeah. Take my word for that. He was there. I didn't. You take my word for that. He says as he starts walking in that fucking direction. I don't know what to friggin' prove, but I would like to see him. And I'm actually, I'm not turning this off very well. Give me a moment, please. Thank you. I mean, I feel as I've been very patient waiting for that component to stop fucking being everywhere, but it's not. I think that's just part of the, yeah. And look, it seems as though it's an energetic poking that keeps their fire a-stoking. So it's like, and that's how things go, right? The more it's like, as things we ground, the more we ground, the realer it becomes. And as I've said, it's not trying to get. It's not about getting others to agree with you. It's just, yeah, we're actually controlling the fun and the bloody not so fun. We get right down to it, and there's a number of us which are the, you could say, call it what you like, 144,000 Star Children Foundation of, I don't know, all we see in and out of sight. But the way I've come to realise, it's like, yeah, well, we're creating the whole thing. Some of it can be pretty bloody not so nice, and you're like, fuck, Christ. Who what? Oh, it's not me. I didn't do this bit, you know. And it's like, and not necessarily, but that's why you split yourself into many shards or crystals or, you know, broken dark parts. We thought until they were held at the correct angle, and we're like, wow, it's beautiful. It's another freaking analogy that's maybe being overused or drawn out or not heard. Metaphoric salad word, yeah, nah, fuck that up. Anyhow, there's a couple of tots actually. That's double tot. I think it's. I mean, I've had, you know, double think, double speak. Well, no, it's double inspiration from the 2 times, well, it's 4 times really, isn't it? Because I don't, people might think it's silly to count the reflections, as we think, oh, it's the reflection, we know what's, well, you know, how do we? Do you really know which side it's all on? Often it seemed realer on the other side to me. I've certainly said so in the past, and over time the reflections have, yeah, gotten realer. Yeah, I thought that motherfucker had stolen my bike then. I better not get too ahead of myself. He's wearing a helmet, looks a lot like mine. I don't think that was my bike. And I don't see, there's more fuck, yeah. Another shape he's just pulled up there, he's gonna do some weird shit. And see, I don't steal others' things, right? It's just, you know, it's just, but look, I live in a realm where, fuck me, it's like, whether, you know, you get a lot of stories or whatever that go, it's like, maybe, but shit, it's a lot of bloody thievery going on. It's like, fuck. The worst ones are the freaking official ones. Oh, they think that that's alright. The ones that put uniforms on, flashing lights. Oh, they're, if I can steal your shit, they're the fucking worst of the lot. They think it's alright. It's not alright. Fuck. So I'm still, you know, while I'm not overly attached to my things, I'm still trying to look after what I got, what's left. Oh, fuck. Alright. I don't know where I was. Yeah, if I got to there where I was intending. I haven't seen all this on here before, but I've, you know, nature's got it together more than you or I, so I won't get overly concerned about what I don't know. That doesn't mean I'll ignore. Just saying that, you know, the wind's blowing that way. Yeah, that's all right. So, yeah, he's come back there. I have said this before. It was the realisation that the trees gave me, and it's ringing true. You don't have to think about. You don't think about breathing, right? You don't think about the blood flowing. You don't think about all the, you know, physical, mechanical side that, you know, we're led to accept is what's going on. It's probably part of the trap that keeps us here, mind you, because nothing's physical. Another thing I seem to have somehow known all along, difficult to explain when you bump into something and bash into things and hurt your head, your leg, your heart and your brain all at the same time. But yeah, I think nothing's physical anyway. That's the tricky with the physical. It's all made up of non-physical. Yeah, I forgot. It's alright. Alright. Nice. Oh yeah, I remembered, but I can't bother going through it, so it's alright. Alright, myself. Oh, I'm going to repeat one thing, because this did actually pop in my head. Genuinely, for the first time at the time, it's popped in back in my head a few times recently, and it might be maybe as other people come across it, then I see it hits me as they do. And I've thought maybe that's why I say celebrities are such fucking psychos, because if they're real men and women, maybe they're fucking all the time, boom, 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 boom. Every time someone watches their movie, boom, they're getting like a boom, boom. So they would start believing that they're, you know, beyond, above and beyond, or the ego would get out of fucking control. Not to give celebrities a pass, but I've thought that a number of times, and thought maybe that's why I'm so freaking suppressed and kept down in the jar. It's for my own good. Because, you know, I will feel when other people do fucking things. It's like, well, can't necessarily explain it with the education I was given, or, you know what I mean? Like, you do know what I mean. You damn well do know what I mean. And it's like, but well, even have to second guess it as I explain it, knowing that it's real as heck. Yeah, so many times, I've said this before. If someone you think of something, they ring, right? All that shit. Yeah, well, that might be a good, convenient answer to all the shadow banning thing. It's fucking good for you. But anyhow, nice to alright, not be banned or shadowed or fucking all the rest. I was going somewhere with that, but well, maybe I got there. I don't fucking know. Alright, see ya. Nice love. On with the show. Oh, it's a screecher. That's a solitary screecher. Thanks, mate.